there, I'm a man. Here, I'm a child. I couldn't even vote for who sent me to Vietnam because voting was 21 then. I wasn't old enough. What did I learn from that? Gee, I guess we send children to war, don't we?
Presently now, when you go to Odogbo barracks, you see them coming out in white and blue. I still saw them yesterday. They are presently recruiting. And you see young boys that you would not even believe these ones are up to 18 because of their facial look.
Looking at what we look like, the kind of decision we take when we are 18, do you think we should recruit 16, 17, 18 years old kid into military?
An 18-year-old boy or girl should still consult his or her parent for decision making, leaving that 18 is the age of legality or anything.
At the time, I felt like I was a grown man.
Technically, 18 is an adult, but we know, like, at 18, we are still children. We still behave more like children than like a full-grown adult.
For most of us, when we were 18, we actually made some dumb decisions.
That same person is not the same when he's 24, 25. Yeah.
I've seen people who just went through 3 months war and it's changed their life. They never recovered.
If they are capable of joining the military, they are capable of ruling.
Like, why would the 16-year-old boy be governing me and everything?
The relationship should be ready to accept that if we cannot inspire you to fight for your land, to fight for your people, then we don't deserve to exist.
Do people that we cannot allow to be our governor, to be our president, should they be fighting the war that was started by somebody that will not allow them to take that same position?
Face card never did. Slash was pretty petite. Who is she like, babe? It's me. French kiss make him say we.
This is a teenage boy. He can't vote. He can't legally sign a contract. He probably needs permission to go on a school trip, but he can go to war. Why? Do you know that military in some countries recruits kids of 16 years old?
Is it official?
Every year, thousands of teenagers, some as young as 16, are recruited into the military. In the United States, it starts at 17. In UK, 16. India, Canada, Australia, 17. Nigeria, Russia, China, officially 18.
16 to 18 are still quite young.
Recruiting teenagers into military raises deep ethical questions. One major issue is maturity. If you look at military recruitment, some countries start as low as, let's say, age 16. Some countries start as low as 17. Nigeria, 18. Think about who you are when you are 18, because I know a lot of dumb decisions that I took when I was 18. So, looking at what we look like, the kind of decision we take when we are 18, do you think we should recruit 16, 17, 18 years old kid into military?
To go to war or even just join the military?
Let's say go to. If you are going to military, there is a higher probability that you are going to war. Either by medics, either by supplying this, either by whatever it is you are going to war.
Below it.
If it's not physical, it's emotional.
I think it is good to recruit somebody that is at least 18, because at least once you are 18 and they recruit you, I think they will not come and force you.
Okay.
You go, you apply, and then you will know that you are the one that carry yourself there.
Okay.
But if you're under 18, like if you are 17, if you are 16, it shouldn't be allowed. I don't advise that, because it's more or less like these people they cannot, or will assume that they are not able to give you consent. Yeah. They cannot give you consent because they are
because of their age, because they are still minor.
They are minor.
I feel like 16 to 17 in Nigeria that I know of, the legal age is 18. So if the legal age of whatever country recruits as 16 is 16, then sure, it works for them as long as they are not forcing people to join the force.
If we are using the legal definition of an adult, technically 18 is an adult, but we know, like, at 18 we are still children. We still behave more like children than like a full-grown adult. So
at that age, most are still figuring out who they are.
They have more things to do with their life than, these are your formative age. So war should not be what should be introduced. That age is too early for someone to be introduced to war.
Making life-altering decisions can be overwhelming. Yes, they are being asked to sign up for something that could change or even end their lives.
I've seen people who just went through 3 months war. They just spent 3 months in the war front and it's changed their life. They never recovered. So that age is, your brain will not be able to, it's expected that your brain is not able to handle the horrors of war and all of that.
When I got out, I didn't think that I had PTSD, I almost thought like PTSD was something that people who couldn't handle the intensity of their job had. And when I got out, I didn't think that I had any issues or mental health issues that would affect me in the civilian life. I found that I was having trouble controlling my emotions sometimes, my anger.
Here is where it gets even deeper, because teenagers are the age where exuberance, the need to prove a point, and the hunger for relevance collide. A time you are desperate for purpose, identity, and belonging.
For most of us, when we were in team, we actually made some dumb decisions, and I would say probably it's because of the way we have been brought up, or because of the things we were exposed to. And we also have people that are in team and actually more matured, and they make decisions that actually will really help them throughout the rest of their lives.
When you are young, you do a lot of crazy things without even thinking twice about it. As you get older, those crazy decisions don't stop. They just become more calculated. But for a teenager, relevance is everything. To matter, to be seen, to prove you are not weak. The military offered the perfect stage for that performance.
At the time, I felt like I was a grown man. Like, I felt like I was more of a, it's going to sound weird, like more of a man than my dad, or like at my dad's level a little bit. It felt like that at that time, because I was doing stuff my dad never got a chance to do, you know?
But what recruiter don't show you is PTSD, civilian death, veteran without limbs, family left behind. They are edited out of the adverts you see on social media and on television, but they are also part of the package.
We wouldn't really advertise our mess, all the times that we messed up. Or not messed up, where something bad happened, or innocent person got killed, or some of the tactics we were using.
I mean, over 1 million people in Iraq died, civilians. Over 1 million. How many died in Iraq?
You know, I never knew
France?
that. I never knew that, Nick.
Yeah. Over 1 million.
Over 1 million civilian casualties?
In Iraq.
It's not just about giving youths a shot. It's about harnessing their energy, fearlessness, and even naivety to train them, shape them, and send them to war to fight their fellow innocent comrade made enemy by men in suits, physically or ideologically. Especially ideologically, before they even understand how the world works.
The manner of recruitment is something of concern, because normally once you go to an 18 years old, that same person is not the same when he's 24, 25. Yeah. And even though we just buy into the legal argument that, okay, at 18 is an adult, the concern is still there.
An 18-year-old boy or girl should still consult his or her parent for decision making, leaving that 18 is the age of legality or anything.
Now, another question now. If you look at the situation in most countries will not allow a 16, 17-year-old kid to be governor, to be president. So, do people that we cannot allow to be our governor, to be our president, should they be fighting the war that was started by somebody that will not allow them to take that same position?
Okay, so I love this question.
I'm actually taking it to another level, actually, but it's actually a nice one because I'm actually perplexed. I don't know what to say.
Why they do that? Because they feel that, okay, young guy, you still have strength, energy, go and fight. But when it comes to, they assume that when it comes to political matter, when it comes to making decision, they believe that adults should make that kind of decision.
I said, over there, I'm a man. Here, I'm a child. I had done all of that, 9 months, came back, and I could not drink a beer on Orange Avenue because I was under 21. I couldn't even vote for who sent me to Vietnam because voting was 21 then. I wasn't old enough. What did I learn from that? Gee, I guess we send children to war, don't we? Isn't that a form of child abuse?
There is no culture or tradition that doesn't has its own errors.
You can't really say a 16-year-old, 17-year-old boy should actually become president. It's not, because, okay, talking from Nigeria now, we have ego as men, like older men. They have, like, why would really a 16-year-old boy be governing me and everything? And actually, it's actually not a right thing to actually be sending them to the war front, because they actually are not really well seasoned, and war is something that's actually not nice. It causes trauma and everything. And in some countries, I don't know really, but I think in my own perspective, I would say some countries, their military system is actually well okay, such that even young ones are actually eager to actually want to join and are not forced. And I also think they actually go through many rigorous process and trainings to actually, make them do. But in the real sense, I don't think it's actually right to be sending 16, 17-year-olds to war, even though.
Recently, I was talking to someone, and the person said, if a 24-year-old student cannot be the vice chancellor of the University of Ibadan, and run the University of Ibadan effectively, then there's problem in Nigeria.
Military recruitment isn't always a hard sell. Sometimes it's a dream wrapped in camouflage, free university education, travel, discipline, brotherhood, and an escape from poverty, if possible.
Military money is easy money. So I heard. Just join the force, you go for, at least you know that, oh, it's a security. Yeah, it's a form of job security. So people are not ready to toil, to maybe read, to maybe learn more. Once you have your SSC, instead of university, military. So in as much as the government is not forcing anyone, if 18 is the age, then so be it. Kobe Boma is only.
And if you are poor, you are even more likely to be targeted because studies shows that military recruiters often focus on low-income neighborhood where escape through service look like salvation. But look closer and you will see it's more than money or education. It's about something deeper. It taps into that desperate need to matter, to take control of your life, to do something meaningful with your life. It's not just pitched as a job like every other job. It's packaged as a rite of passage. But beneath that polished surface, that opportunity often comes with traumas, blind obedience, and scars that may never heal.
And we went to Iraq for nothing. Not for nothing, but we didn't need to go to Iraq. And we took our eye off of Afghanistan. And then Al-Qaeda figured out it was easier to kill Americans in Iraq than it was in Afghanistan. So we turned, I found Iraq. I did 2 tours in Iraq.
How does Iraq make so much money in war?
Well, Iraq doesn't, we do.
Behind every battle, there is a balance sheet. War is a business that generates massive profits for weapon manufacturer, private military contractor, defense agency, and political stakeholder who love to profit from ruin.
But people that have never been to war but make a ton of money off it, like Dick Cheney, they don't give a f. Even with the debauched withdrawal in Afghanistan, we left all that shit there. There's a reason we did that, because now someone's cutting a contract to these contracts. Oh, we got to make more now. We need more helicopters and tanks and we need more missiles because we left them all, so make them. And so someone's signing the dotted line, hey, look at me, I'm rich, and I'm on Capitol Hill, I don't give a fuck about the troops.
And for some odd reason, the people who send us over there, they make these contracts and stuff like that, like Halliburton, who magically win no-bid contracts for the government, and all that money goes back and gets siphoned through the politicians.
The people who make decisions to go to war, people like presidents, policymakers, generals, and CEOs are really the ones who bled, and none of them will even allow their children to be at the front line. Instead, it's the teenagers and young adults who are deployed, often without fully understanding the politics and stake involved. They are expected to risk their life based on command issued from boardroom and government office thousands of miles away.
When we go down history lane, when we check all of this military governments that we have, all of these people that fought for our 30 Lofa, there were some that fought at 21. That gained power, coup d'etat. Some of them are 22. I don't have my facts here. I would have started bringing them out. Some of them are 23. Some of them are 25. Way younger than we are even now. So, if they are capable of joining the military, they are capable of ruling. Because people way younger than them ruled Nigeria. And that was even when Nigeria was better. So if they are young enough to be in the force, yes, they are old enough. Or if they are old enough to be in the force, rather, they are old enough to sit in power.
These decision makers remain protected, distant, and largely unaccountable, while the visible consequences like injury, death, broken family fall on the shoulder of the youth who are sent to execute their strategies.
But now they are not forcing people. I tell people, I have friends that joined military at 18, 19, 20, and I tell my other friends, presently now when you go to Odogbo barracks, you see them coming out in white and blue. I still saw them yesterday. They are presently recruiting. And you see young boys that you would not even believe these ones are up to 18 because of their facial look. But the people are gullible. I'm so sorry to say it.
The heart of this issue isn't about blaming the soldier, especially not teenagers who enlist. Many of them are doing what they believe is right, seeking purpose, honor, or a way out of difficult circumstance, or some who want to fight for their country. What this conversation challenge is the larger system that knowingly targets young, underdeveloped mind and markets war as a coming-of-age opportunity. These teenagers are not inherently violent or misguided. They are often sincere, brave, and full of hope and love for their various countries. But their decisions are shaped by powerful individuals and institutions that understand exactly how to influence them. By questioning the ethics of this system, we can still honor the individual without endorsing the manipulation that got them there. If you have the power and if you can change anything about the age we send kids to war, what will you set it to be? Or what changes will you make in that regard?
Well, I will change it to at least 23. No, 25. 25. Anybody less than 25, nobody should say, "Oh yeah, go and fight, go to war." No. Once you are less than 25, you are not qualified for any military something.
For me, I think 24, 25 upward is the age where people should go to war. What do you think about that? People should apply. Because I think by that time you will have learned a lot of things about life to some extent. You will have experienced mostly university education by that time, and then you will have experienced something outside your parents' house, and then you can say, oh, it's time to do something like this. What do you think about that opinion?
My answer will still remain the same. Oh.
It's all the same, whether you are 25, whether you are 18. A war is a war.
Yeah.
It doesn't change, it doesn't really change anything actually.
Number one, like I said, there's really no need for war, and there's really no age. Like even a 91-year-old person should not seek war. But yeah, if it is very necessary, because there are times where wars are necessary.
What age? Actually, I won't really say, because war is actually not a nice thing. Because I've actually read of some cases of war whereby people were actually forced.
Let's assume a place is invaded and there's a need for people to defend it. So I think at that age, I mean, you're a young person, you're agile, you can withstand physically and perhaps emotionally and psychologically the weight of war. So except as when necessary.
Now, let's be clear. The military isn't just about combat. For some, it genuinely provides a chance to serve their country, learn discipline, and make a difference, which is why most people join. But those benefits come with significant risk. But for others, it's an experience that leaves deep emotional scars, made worse by lack of mental health care after service. Behind all the patriotic speeches and polished commercial lies a machine, and that machine runs on young mind and body. And it starts early. When legal enlistment begins at 17, recruiters often begin building relationship online with kids as young as 13. There is no law against warming them up, just rules about when they can sign the dotted line. One key insight into teenage recruitment is the long-term effects, not just on the individual and their family alone, but also on our society as a whole. The military can be a gateway to adulthood, but at what cost? Psychological trauma, PTSD, identity crisis, loss of innocence, and yet the recruitment continues. If we look at most nations across the world and we look at what most leadership does, like talking about corruption, talking about all sort of behaviors, is it worth it for people to probably join military or just be drafted by like some other country does?
It depends on the country, how the level of, like now, let's say you're in a, I think this Russia, Ukraine is more like it's sad on both sides. They are forcing people that don't want to go. They're even dragging them from their mothers while they're crying. So it's unfortunate because no, you can't exist without self-defense. But I think that should be something like the nation should be ready to accept that if we cannot inspire you to fight for your land, to fight for your people, then we don't deserve to exist. That's just the basic thing. Because once you're a nation, there's always going to be aggressors, except maybe we achieve world peace. There are always going to be aggressors that want your resources, want your land. And if those people come, I just say you should just surrender, because at least that's an option. It's the valid option to me. Like if you want to be annexed and you want to at least rulers are rulers. Most times it's just the face that is changing. It's not your way of life that is changing. So at the end of the day, it's up to I believe the people should decide that, okay, if the draft is something that you are not dragging people away, it's not worth it again at all. So if people are not willing to put their lives on the line for the country, that means they don't believe in that country again.
If you ask any soldier who fought on the front line, I can tell you for fact, over 90% of them regret their decisions. And if most of them have insight into how they will be used as tools, they would not have joined in the first place. It's not just about defending freedom or promoting peace. It's mostly about contracts, investments, and geopolitical control. The military-industrial complex thrives when there is conflict and when conflict escalates, not when peace prevails. In this system, soldiers, especially young recruits, can become expandable assets in a profit-driven cycle. Their sacrifice is real, undeniable fact, but it often serves interests far removed from the noble cause they were promised.
I think at the end of the day, you cannot have a nation without a military. So, normally, any nation that does not inspire that confidence in people to defend it naturally, I don't see that nation will exist for long, because once people come against you, that's the end. So that's why I'm not in favor of a draft too, because if you are forcing it, I think let the nation just dissolve on its own.
I would just say that even if there is a war, we should try as much as possible not to impose
it on people
to actually come and fight war, which is actually what we need to look into now. That is a problem. Yeah.
The decision to join military is deeply personal. What works for one person may not work for another person. But when we talk about teenage recruitment, we must recognize what is really happening. It's not just about hitting the recruitment number. It's about the lives and future of young people.
To whatever anything, we can restructure, we can always reconstruct, we can always reinvent at any point in time.
So guys, what's your own opinion about teenager recruitment into the military? Is this something that is right, or is this something that government needs to look into? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next episode.
If you are going to be able to fight for war, it has to be balanced in other places. You have these special privileges, but still, I don't think the age of that military can go up more, because I think the peak of human fitness, which is required for military, is around that mid-20s, mid-30s, so can't really go that high.
Some of the countries that set their standard to 16, 17, some of them, their legal age is 19, 20, 21. And also, in these countries, they will not allow a 16, 17, 18 years old kid to be their governor, to be their president. But when presidents run their mouths and war started, or they see somebody's property or whatever it is, and war starts, they will send all these kids to war. Looking from that perspective, do you think the president should send 18 years old kid to war?
Well, that is too much. That is too much, but at least.
Face card never did. Slash was pretty petite. Who is she like, babe? It's me. French kiss make it say we.